Hello, it's Jihad Al Ali from Grand Canyon University, and today we are going to talk about the curricular development. And in this presentation, I'm going to talk about and describe the steps in the higher education course development process, identify the stakeholders who are usually involved in the curricular development process, and describe their roles in the process, identify best practices in creating curriculum in higher education, and explain the differences between curriculum development in a 2 years versus a 4 years educational institutions. So without further ado, let's get started. So, what are the steps in the higher education course development process? First steps is gather information. When we plan to develop a curriculum, it's a process start to analyze and ask ourselves questions. Who are the learners and what they need to get out of the materials? So the first step we need to initiate as a curriculum development team are to determine what kind of curriculum model we want to use. Depending on our ultimate goals, we can try objective model. This method focuses on results, outcome, and evaluation. It is a more rigid model but provide a helpful framework for preparing for a quantitative learning assessment, like a standardized test, for example. Another popular curriculum model is a process model. The process model focuses on how students are learning and their thoughts on that learning. It's more open-ended model than the products models, allowing for growth over time. The team may also decide that combining the two styles will give the learners the best outcome. Next step is designing curriculum. Once curriculum development team have the clue about who the learner is and what the learners need to be able to do, next step that we are ready to design. Curriculum development team will have a vision, and their approach will be subject center, problem center, learner centers, or a combination of all of that. Choose measurable objective for each unit, lesson, and/or class sessions. In order to achieve that objective should be clear and include action words such as identify, modify, explain, and evaluate. As instructional designers create the objectives, they carefully connected them to the content. The team examine the environment in which the content will be used. Next step is to build and evaluate. After mapping the content and determine if other materials are needed, the curriculum's development team is ready to build the content into a workable instructions unit. As the material is being built, there is a constant combination between teams members. Project managers handle the flow of work and oversee timeline. Writers start working on the writing of the lessons that students and or teacher will use. Copy editor work to keep the content consistent by ensuring the work is the correct style and line up with the learning objectives. Graphic designers develop art, video, or animations. Instruction designer check that the material will lead to measurable outcome. Multiple iterations occur as material is discussed between team members. The final step of the curriculum development process is evaluations. While the materials has been evaluated by all the curriculum development team members throughout the process, the final step is to make sure the content is the most effective it can be for a target learners. That means the objectives are aligned with the chosen educational standards and the material is consistent and developmentally appropriated. Ideally, this stage can involve piloting the curriculum in the actual learning environment where it will be used. That way, the curriculum development team can implement feedback from those using their curriculum. As a result of this teamwork and dedications and dedications to the learners, it is possible to build a curriculum that helps all the learners reach desired outcome. Stakeholders in higher education can be described as either internal or external. Internal stakeholders are members of the academic community, those who participate in the daily life of institutions. This includes faculty and non-academic or professional staff, managers, students, and institution itself as entirety, expressed through its leadership and formal governance. External stakeholders are a group or individuals that have an interest in higher education but who are not Internal stakeholders. External stakeholders include employers, parents, society at large, including non-consumers of education, the government, as represented by SVI's agency, and organizations or groups representing collections of such stakeholders nationally and internationally.
Students are the most obvious and direct stakeholder in any higher education institution. They depend on the system to deliver significant personal benefits and they make substantial personal investment in that system. Beyond fee, all students experience large opportunity caused by engaging in formal education as they forego earning from full-time employment. Students want to be educated, but they are very aware that the qualifications are one of the most important outcomes. In the current economic climate, students are sensible to consider the likely employment outcome they will experience. They see their education's value as dominated by the qualification the system award them, particularly given government focus on the economic uh, output of higher education. Beyond their interest in the resulting qualification, students are also intimately intertwined with the nature of an educational institutions. After qualifying, students remain stakeholder in any educational institution. As an alumni or a graduate of the system, they have an interest in sustaining and protecting the value of the qualification they have achieved. Many institutions recognize this through the role alumni play in governance. There is a substantial ongoing relationship with alumni, commonly providing significant donation and scholarship. An institution recognizing successful alumni with honorary degree. This later activity benefits the status of both parties simultaneously. Parents of students are significant stakeholders in the higher education system through their financial support of students and in their influence over the choices students make when moving from the school system into higher education system. Parents who are alumni of elite institutions are more likely to have the resources and aspiration needed to see their child enter an elite institution, and students might obtain a preferential entry through their status as the offspring of alumni or through the influence of their parents' donations. In a light institution where access is based in criteria other than academic ability, parents are likely to be very clear about the reason for choosing such an option for their children and will have a well defined sense of what outcome should follow from successfully graduating.
Academic faculty role as stakeholders. The other traditional major stakeholder in higher education is the academic faculty. Academic work underpin much of what is perceived as the value and purposes of an university. As with students, faculty are participants within the process and similarly beneficiaries of its performance. The reputation and recognitions of faculty are included in the international ranking system used to compare universities. Many governmental performance measures assess the success of faculty in their research work through the obtaining of research funds and the publication of journal articles and books. Universities were defined by the roles played by faculty in institutional governance, and there is evidence that they still have substantial influence, particularly in areas relating to education. The majority of decisions about the operational and pedagogic, pedagogical structures of teaching are commonly made by faculties, individually or collectively. Faculties decide whether students have demonstrated the quality expected of graduates and are substantially responsible for the ability of graduating students to meet the expectations of society in general. Manager, administrator, and professional staff as stakeholders. The management and administrator of modern university constitute a strong and separate community, often operating within what appears to be a parallel organization to that of the faculty. This separation of responsibility between faculty and professional staff is readily apparent within an institution, but the roles of the professional staff is less evident, and their impact is such that they are described as invisible. They exist in defined position with their own careers path and communities of practice. Historically, two systems of university decision makings operate in parallel. Academic and operational decisions are made separately with reference to an often conflicting set of priorities. And a challenge created by this sense of opposition is the breakdown in trust, leading academics to construct alternative narratives attributing negative underlying motive to management and professional decision making, and vice versa. The mistrust is not helped by academic awareness of negative perceptions of their roles by senior managers. Despite this negativity, most managers and administrators are consciously balancing the need to maintain the academic reputation and quality of the institutions, negotiating the competing uh, interests of different academic groups, working to help the institution operate efficiently in financial terms, and responding to the extensive demand of government and the other external obligations, which are substantial driver of increased cost of higher education and generate uh, further tension within the university as academics observe the increasing scale and cost of the non-academic activity, even as academic salary and job security are declining in real terms.
One of the best practices in creating curriculum in higher education is communication and collaborations. Any revised or major changes in university or higher education institute curriculum require without a doubt a foremost of faculty support through a practice of communication and collaborations. According to the article Want to Ramp Your Curriculum, major stockholders of State University at Plymouth uh, made a great effort and spent meaningful time working with all of the department and faculty members to ensure the new curriculum was seen by all and taken their consideration seriously. According to the article, the main concern are the core of the curriculum change was not described in details or planned based on other university experiment or efforts, but somewhat a new idea yet to be seen or implemented. The State University overcome and face the challenges by discussing concern and take votes in arranged meeting to see where everyone stood on the issue. It turns that these meetings benefit communication and aid in the freedom of many ideas to be implemented. So, for example, that allowed the professor and department a chance to discuss and share their ideas on how to implement this vision inside the classroom. Communication and collaboration give the opportunity and chance to discuss what feature remained of importance within their class and department to improve, and which feature of preceding curriculum core were redundant. This allowed for development of students being able to take classes more aligned with their profession rather than checking off boxes, as well as allow for the opportunity to double majors, obtain a minor or certificate with more ease than increased hands-on activities such as more labs and increased class unit, as well as student success in courses. What is the differences between curriculum development in 2 years versus a 4 years educational institutions? One of the main differences in the curriculum development between 2 and 4 college is the level of collaborations. University or other 4 years college set their school standards and expectations for everything from a degree program to individual courses, according to a past education group. While a 2 years college are usually designed for associate degree as well as transferability to a 4 years program. This requires up-to-date information of the local university to collaborate course equivalences. Generally, when you attend a 4 years schools, the degree requirements dictate that you take a general education and theory-based courses, while 2 years schools focus more on hands-on education of the core classes and also tend to provide a real-life opportunity to apply your knowledge. Thank you for listening, and here are my references.